Here's how to do a custom map in pogostuck with a Tilemap and 2D art. First, you're going to want to download the Game Studio A8. The link is inside one of the folder in here with me. It's situated in Steam, Steam Apps, Common, pogostuck custom maps. And if you press the readme, it's going to be right in there. And you can download it. Afterward, what you're going to do is you want to get a Tilemap. I personally use itch.io, browse, assets, I press free, and then you can select the tile map. I personally already have this one in my inventory, so I'm going to use this one. Important to check the license. So for example, and this one can be used both in free and commercial project. So it's fine for what I'm doing. After downloading it, you're going to want to put it in your folder. So what you're going to do is copy and paste this base map folder. I renamed mine to tutorial, and inside I pasted my tile map right here. And this is what we're going to use for later. Afterward, you're going to want to download Blender on Steam. Go into Property, Betas, and select the 3.6 version. Because right now the add-on doesn't work for 4.0, but maybe in the future it will, so it's up to you to see about that. So Blender. Do I have my add-on? I don't. You're gonna go into Preferences. You're gonna go into Install. Find your custom map folder, WED file, open the WED file on the map, Blender 3.3 MDL exporter. Click this and install the add-on. After that, you're gonna search exporter if it doesn't automatically appear and enable it. I'm also gonna enable this one personally so you can see everything in case I forget to do it. So personally, the camera and the light, they're not needed. This thing is annoying, so I'm gonna right click, joint area, and boom. And this is where we're gonna start. You're gonna want to select the cube. Press tab to go inside edit mode. I'm gonna select 3 for the faces, 1, 2, 3. 1 is for the vertex, 2 is for the edge, 3 is for the faces. I'm gonna press delete and delete the faces. So we get our first faces. Afterward, I'm gonna go into material so we can have our tile map ready. Inside base color, you're gonna choose image texture, and you're gonna open it inside your custom map where you put it. As you can see, you don't see anything right now, so you want to go into this little arrow and press texture so you can see the texture. I'm also gonna remove the lightning since I don't like it personally. And I'm gonna enable backface culling for later. I'm also gonna go in here and activate the move gizmo, so when I select something, it's easier to move. Now, I may have not deleted the right face yet, right? And the numpad, I press 1, so you won't have to rotate the image inside with when we're gonna be at that time. So R90, no, Z90. So what I did was press R to rotate, Z to select the angle, and then 90 to tell it how much to rotate. And I'm gonna do it again because I don't see it. It's not on the wrong side, but this time it's gonna be 180. And we have our first thing. But it's pretty ugly. It's not what we want. And we're gonna go into UV editing. So you can see that the face is all of that right now when we only want just one cube usually. I'm gonna guesstimate that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna say 8 by 8 for now. For my tile map, it might be different for yours. I'm gonna click the face, right click, and subdivide. So that's 2 by 2. That's, oh, that's 2 by 2. That's 4 by 4, and that's 8 by 8. I'm gonna select everything. UV and yeah, you can select everything, right click, and UV and wrap faces. Unwrap, or you can simply just press U and unwrap. And as you can see, it was 8 by 8, but it's 8 by 10. So I'm gonna select 2 row, Control D, and no, Shift D. I'm gonna move it just a little bit above. Yeah, and as you can see, since I wasn't centered, it wasn't on the right space. So I'm gonna more or less align it. And then I'm gonna select everything, press M, merge by distance, and upgrade the distance until it's merged. So it removed the 9 vertical. So now it's 1 full plane. If you don't want to make that mistake, all you have to do is press 1, select everything, hit D, and then you can merge by distance. So this time if I go on 3, it's all in a simple line. When I made that mistake, this one was a little bit like that. So it wasn't straight, and it will not have been pretty. So again, I'm gonna select everything, U, unwrap, and I have all of my faces. But I don't see them, and that's because when I went into the UV editing, it reset my thing here. So why are the texture looking like that? It's because in the material, it's set by default in linear, and what you want is closest, so it looks sharper. And you have your tile map. You can start creating your level now. You're gonna want, for the first one, it doesn't matter, but afterward, you're gonna want to unlock this by vertex. And I'll show you why. So all you have to do when you want to create something is you select something. So I'm gonna select like this, for example, Shift D. And this is gonna be the start of my level. Shift D. Now it's not the right vertex. So I'm gonna just press G and then I can move it right there. And that is why you want to enable this to vertex, is because when you move it, you automatically connect to it. So it's easier to make afterward and easier to merge. And everything looks fine for now. There you go, we got our first platform. Now there's 2 ways to go about this. If you want your platform in pogostuck, you can select every faces with 3 if you haven't, or this if you haven't done it. Press E and this. As you can see, it's not on the right side, and somehow this didn't save either. So now the faces are on the right side, and we have everything. Personally, I don't like these colors, so I'm just gonna select this face. Going to here, A, scale everything by pressing S to 0, by pressing 0 on the numpad, then pressing enter. Then I'm gonna press G to move the dot, and it's gonna be just prettier. Your player won't see these lines, but since you see them yourself in Blender, I personally prefer seeing them like that. So everything worked fine. Sometime what might happen is that your face will look like this. And if you look from the other side, it's gonna be hard to see, so I'm just gonna remove this also. Is that the interior of the face will be outward instead of inward. And you can notice it by using back face cutting, because if you don't, you won't notice it, and your player will go through this plane just because it's not on the right side. And so if this happens, you can select them, press Alt N, and then flip. And this is the reason that I enable backface cutting, because there's no way to tell without it if the face is facing the right place. And so this is the first way, but as you can see, the collision won't be perfect. So for example, this is a cube. So if you were to just touch on these things, you will just bump here instead. You wouldn't be able to get here. Which lead to the second thing you can do. Do I have enough Control Z? No, I don't. Alright, so I'm just gonna select this, delete them. Also somehow this reset to linear instead. The second thing you can do is a little bit more complicated. You're gonna want to Shift A to add a plane or a cube, it's up to you. I prefer a plane. And you want to do this in object mode. I'm currently in edit mode, so it won't work if I do it this way. Also, I'm just gonna put this back here. So now back into object mode, Shift A plane. Rotate it on the Y, I think. And then I guess I can rotate it on the Z. Minus 90. There you go. And what you're gonna do is gonna be weird. You're gonna go into edit mode, press 1, and remove this vertical, which leave you with this. You're gonna want to press 1. Go into this. But as you can see, it's snapping again. It's because it's still on, so you're gonna have to deactivate it. And then, yeah, you're gonna add the points to them. So first you can move the first three to where you want. I'm gonna leave them here. And when there's a corner like this, you can just press E, or when you don't have any more, and then connect them. Click when you're there. Which is gonna take some time if you want to do it perfectly. But it's mostly gonna be useful for a corner like this. Or slopes, I should say. If you have some in your level. If your Tilemap have some, of course. And once you're doing that, and I'm just gonna finish it like butched. Again, I want to merge by distance. are they close to each other? They are not. Oh, it's because I haven't selected them all either. So A and by distance. And be careful because like right here it destroyed everything because my distance was too big. And now that this is connected, you can select them all with A, press F, and then you're gonna be able to select the faces and press E. As you can see, this is angled. It's again because I didn't do it when I was in one and try to do it real quick like this. Which is why you always want to do it while pressing numpad 1. So that's the gist of it for your block. I personally prefer the E version for this one since it's going to be easier. To also showcase something that I saw earlier, I'm going to delete these faces. And as you can see, there's a lot of faces that you can delete inside to just be more efficient. Optimization wise, I don't think it will matter much inside WED, but who knows. And then you can select these two things with shift and press F to remake one whole face. Once this is done, again, I'm gonna select all of these. So I can go inside of here, AS0, and I see them all. And there's one last thing to do to upload your block into pogostuck. You have to separate it from this, because if you upload it like that, then this thing is also gonna be in there. So you're gonna select everything in this one. If you don't want to do all of this, you can activate the X-ray, so you can just select it, everything, every side all at once. Right click, is it? Separate. So it's P, the shortcut, and it's by selections. It's what I selected. And you have your whole new face. You're gonna want to get out of the edit mode to be able to select it again. Gonna remove the X-ray for me. Oops. And there you go. So then there should only be one thing left to do, and it's to export it. File export MDL. This is going to be really big. Usually I prefer putting it at 100, but it's up to you. My first block. And you're going to upload it inside of it, not inside of models. There you go. You have your first block. Now you're going to want to go into your custom map and your folder. You're going to open the WMP file. And boom, you are inside the pogostuck editor. I would recommend checking the block to see how they work, or keeping some if you need it. I personally don't, so I won't do that. I don't like this view, so I'm gonna remove it. This one isn't too useful, so I'm gonna make it smaller. This one can be useful, but I'm just gonna make it smaller also, and this one is the most useful. So you can click on something, for like example the axe, and figure out how it kills you. So in this case it's metal. You can click at the mushroom and figure out why it makes you fly, and in this case it's because of the behavior and the mushroom act. And there's a lot of things to explore, which I won't discuss too much because I want to make a simple 2D map for now. And you can all explore these on your own. What I'm gonna keep is this little guy right here, which is your spawn area. This thing, which is your starting line. If you want, you can keep up the mode. I keep it just in case. You're also gonna want to keep the finish zone and the finish area. I'm gonna keep this thing because it's cool to have it. It's a bit too long right now, so I'm gonna select this and delete them. Oops. I'm gonna go back here. I forget that you don't see my keyboard, so it's D to move stuff. And delete to delete them. This is the spike if you want to keep it. It has the node to edge 1. And this is the behavior turn act 1. But I'm not gonna keep them personally. Oh, whoops. This is one of the thing I want. This is your checkpoint 1. This is your checkpoint 0. This is a kill area if you want to keep it. I don't right now. And you can also select them from here with a double click. And these two blocks determine the length of your map. You can press Ctrl T to see everything also from far away. I have no idea why. So this is checkpoint 0. I guess I don't need it right now. Gonna move the finish line farther. Gonna move the finish area farther. And you're gonna add your block. So to add your block, you're gonna press add models. Gonna go into tutorial, and I named it your first block. You named it whatever. And it's inside. You're also gonna want to add the material CM pixelated since it's 2D pixel art. If you're doing 3D, you're watching the wrong tutorial. Control S to save, Control B to export. Press yes and OK. And that's it. You can open pogostuck. Custom map. Go into your local custom map. This is tutorial. And you have your block, but I'm passing through. What did I forget? Well, first of all, my block is here and my character is here. So I'm gonna make it more aligned. Second of all, I didn't press polygon right here. Now that this two is done, I'm gonna press S, Control B again to build it, and press F1 inside of here. And you have your block. 100 was a bit small, so you can press S and make it bigger. In my case, I don't know if yours is too small since I can't see it. I forgot to Control B. Yes, yes. F1. And there you go. Now all that's left to do is make more block with your thing, export them. You're gonna have a 2D map.